nice to have you all here. Getting cold out there. Tomorrow it's supposed to be nice, and Saturday's supposed to be nice. And I promised to get all my honey-do jobs done. Lucky me. So I will call this meeting to order of Thursday, December 1st, 2022. And Christy, if you would, call the roll, please.
Trustee Porter?
Here.
Trustee Kemper?
Here.
Trustee Brigi?
Here.
And Trustee Gutierrez?
Here.
Trustee Bancole and Trustee Husani are absent this evening.
Yes. And Trustee Husani had a loss of his brother-in-law passed, and so he's home with his whole family praying. His brother-in-law is in Duval, not necessarily across the street, so we send our goodwill wishes to him. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. My special appreciation tonight to having Christy with us, have gone through major surgery, and that's about all I'm going to say, but you're a real trooper and a great heart and a great servant to the people of Hanover Park, so thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Hearing no changes to the agenda.
I like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
We want to remove 8A7 from the consent agenda.
From the consent?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do. Christy, if you would, call the roll.
8A7.
8A7.
Great. Trustee Brigi? Yes. Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Very good. Public hearing. We have a public hearing on the village's tentative January 1st, 2023 through December 31, 2023 annual budget. Have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Do I need a roll call for that? Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi? Yes. Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll have a summary of the tentative 2023 annual budget provided by the budget officer. Remy, if you would, please.
Sure. Good evening. I am pleased to present the summary of the 2023 annual budget for consideration and passage on December 1st, 2022, which is tonight. The public notice that called for this hearing was published in the Daily Herald on Thursday, November 10th, 2022. The recommended budget for 2023 total $103,850,997 in revenues, $105,021,235 in expenditures for all fund. The general fund, the village's main operating fund, is budgeted to receive $57,191,411 in revenues and $57,167,991 in expenditures. This balanced budget as proposed as an operating surplus of $23,420. Highlight for the 2023 budget as follows. The general fund unassigned fund balance remain within the village fund balance policy and goals. Current level of services is maintained. Adding 6 new employees, 3 firefighters, paramedic, 1 human resources generalist, 1 economic development coordinator, 1 code enforcement officers, eliminating of part-time appearance officer, which is currently vacant, 1 community service officer, offset by elimination of 1 full-time record clerk, which is currently vacant as well. Continue to schedule funding for the village pension fund in accordance with the actuarial recommendation. The 2023 budget anticipates a 0% property tax increase in the corporate and debt service levy. This is the 7th year that the village has not increased the overall levies, which is for the corporate and debt service. Increase to the water and sewer rate of 4.5% per year for the next 5 years, along with changing the service charge from a flat rate across meter size to a fixed scaled meter rate based on meter size, with an 8% increase per year for the next 5 years. May 1st, 2023, the first increase will take effect. Then the remaining 4 years, the increase will take effect January 1st. The increase is necessary to fund for the replacement of our aging water main infrastructure lines, which already exceeded their useful life of 50 years. Capital spending plan, which include $4.2 million in street resurfacing and reconstruction, West Branch stabilization and Foxport to village limit of $1.6 million, $750,000 grant from Green Infrastructure Grant Opportunities, $3.1 million in additional improvement and replacement to the village water and sewer infrastructures, including the water storage tank, Evergreen Tower rehab, which is with a new village logo for $575,000. The village continued to operate in sound financial condition. This could conclude my presentation. Any question, I'll be happy to answer it.
Very good. Any questions for Remy? Hearing none. Any comments? Persons desiring to be heard? Yes, sir?
No, I was just gonna get an agenda.
Oh, that's permitted.
Thanks.
Very good. Motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Frigie?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. Second, public hearing on proposed property tax levy increase for the Village of Hanover Park Special Service Area Number 4, Hanover Terrace, Mark Thomas, for the 2022, payable in 2023. Motion to open the public hearing as proposed property tax levy increase for the Special Service Area Number 4 for payable in 2023.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Frigie?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. Explanation, Remy?
Sure. The Special Service Taxation Law 35 ILCS 200 /27 32 requires that the President and Board of Trustees determine its probable special service area levies in order to plug those exceeding 105% from the previous year. SSA number 4, the Hanover Terrace, Mark Thomas and Leslie Lane, is a levy that will be more than 105% of its last year levy. That is why we have having a public hearing this evening. The public notice that called for this hearing was published in the Daily Herald on Thursday, November 10, 2022. For the 2021 levy collected in 2022, the village levied the amount of $22,335 to pay for the refuse and snow removal services and improvement and maintenance of the common area of the SSA number 4. The staff recommends that the village board levy the amount of $34,135 for the 2022 levy collected in 2023, a 55.84% increase from the 2021 extended levy of $23,005.05. During the budget workshop held on October 19 and 20, staff explained the need to increase the levy due to the depleting fund balance of the SSA number 4 and cannot continue to pay for the shortage of the funds. Since 2015, the village has not levied enough equal to amount needed for the yearly refuse and snow services, and instead has relied on the fund balance to offset the difference. For this coming year, we can no longer do that. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any persons desiring to be heard with opportunity to present testimony and examine witnesses? Anyone? Seeing no one, motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Christie, call the roll, please.
Trustee Frigie?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. Public hearing on proposed property tax levy increase for the Village of Hanover Park Special Service Area Number 5, the Greenbrook Tanglewood area for 2022 payable in 2023. Motion to open public hearing on village proposed property tax levy increase for the special service area number 5.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. Remy, explanation, please?
Sure. The special service taxation law requires that the president and board of trustees determine its probable special service area levies in order to plug those exceeding 105 from the previous year SSA number 5, which is the Greenbrook Tanglewood levy, will be more than 105% of its last year levy. That is why we have having this public hearing this evening. The public notice that called for this hearing was published in the Daily Herald on Thursday, November 10, 2022. For the 2021 levy collected in 2022, the village levied the amount of $269,223 to pay for the refuse services and improvement and maintenance of the common area of the SSA number 5. The Greenbrook Tanglewood Homeowners Association submitted a request to the village to levy the maximum tax rate permitted by our ordinance of 1.7%, which equate to $374,587 for the 2022 levy collected in 2023, an increase of 38.68% from 2021 extended levy of $270,101.93. The following services are $137,525 is budgeted for group refuse services for a whole year. The remaining $237,062 is for concrete and asphalt repair and drainage repair and improvements. This concludes my presentation portion for the SSA number 5.
Thank you. Any persons desiring to be heard with the opportunity to present testimony, examine witnesses? Mr. Perez, Mr. Perez is the president of the Homeowners Association, and if maybe you want to step up to this mic over here.
Oh.
So,
Sorry.
thank you,
Thank you.
and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to voice your opinions and to be heard and learn more about the SSA number 5. Special Services Area number 5 consists of all Greenbrook Tanglewood property common area. The goal of this special service tax is to have an additional source of fund to continue to have progress in our area. From 2016 to 2021, SSA number 5, from what I understand, was only to be collected to serve garbage disposal. So for this year, which Remy just reviewed, this coming year, it's going to be a total of $137,525, which would equate to about $22.69 per month per homeowner, which would leave the remaining $237,062 for additional repairs, which is, concrete and asphalt repairs, replacements, asphalt crack filler, sealant painting lines, and drainage repairs. It was found that our alleyway drives were about due for replacements due to the severe potholes and cracks and the drainage issues, some of which were addressed this year in this construction year. For example, Carmel Drive, Court A, Court B, and Court C. These streets had severe potholes and water drainage issues in the alleyways that were repaired already this year with last year's levy. In addition, the village performed storm sewer replacements on Santa Barbara Drive, Pebble Beach Drive, Pebble Beach Court that were sinking and close to collapsing, and then main storm sewer repairs on Carmel Drive, and then some smaller repairs along the way. One part of the project that was proposed and was not completed this year was a replacement of the common area street signs. So if we approve the SSA levy this year, I would also propose that we add that to the next year's levy, to the next year's budget. And that concludes my presentation.
Well, thank you. I certainly understand the homeowners need and want to make those improvements. And they certainly contribute to the well-being of the village. So, thank you for coming before us tonight.
Thank you.
Anybody have a question for Mr. Perez? Anyone? Okay, anyone else to testify tonight? Seeing none, hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi? Oh, yeah, take a motion.
Oh, I need a motion.
Motion to close public hearing.
Pardon me?
Motion to close public hearing. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Very good. Now Christie, call
Trustee
the roll.
Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Very good. Nice Perez, nice presentation, Mr. Perez. I know that sometimes it's, for the first time, it's difficult standing before the board. And we're very supportive of the work that's being done and accomplished under your leadership. Yeah. No, I asked. Very good. Presentations? Do we have any presentations tonight?
No.
Okay. Village President's report,
Anybody here for town hall?
Town Hall.
Not
Miss
that I
Town
saw,
Hall?
but-
Oh, Town Hall session. Anyone for Town Hall? Anybody signed in?
No,
Okay.
just want to make sure.
Nice to have you all with us tonight.
We came to visit.
Okay, Village President's report. So the last meeting I was gone, Herb Porter was gone to keep me out of trouble. And he did a fine job. I want to thank you, Herb Porter. So in Kansas City, with the National League of Cities, my key component was with the Transportation Infrastructure Service Committee. And we had numerous meetings, even had an opportunity to meet with the 7 Class A railroads. I didn't write that down. And it was quite enlightening, given if anybody's been following the news, we're trying to curtail the heavy and long freights coming through our communities, Hanover Park being one. The blessing for Hanover Park is we have underpasses where no one else does. So we're blessed in that way, but the need for bike path protection with an underpass would be a huge benefit. So that's an outcome that hopefully will be in that agenda when the Surface Transportation Board does meet, looks like early next year. I have been in a press conference with Raja Krishnamurthy requesting additional EIS for the Chicagoland area. There are impacts, and those should be addressed outside of everything else that's going on. So I'll be with him this coming week to discuss the merits of that, and hopefully we'll have some feedback maybe in early January as we learn. I also sat in on the veterans initiatives. Being a veteran myself, I do have an interest with our veterans, and I've toured a tiny town development that they initiated in Kansas City, and it's really doing well for veterans. It's well managed. It's almost like a takeoff from Habitat for Humanity, how they manage it, how they bring veterans in who are homeless, under stress, and help them recover and step forward to find a job and to find a home. And it's working out wonderfully. And I was really pleased to see that, how it was managed. My big fear with the tiny town initiatives, you just can't build a tiny town and hope it works. You could see 20 years down the road, it could end up into be a terrible slum-like environment. So this is well managed and it's well taken care of, and I like that initiative. So I'm going to be working to assist, try to establish something similar to that. Not necessarily in Hanover Park. We don't have 10 free acres anywhere to do something like that, but I am working with the other municipalities. Metra has started moving on our safe crossing initiative that we've been working on a number of years. It takes time to get the dollars, and it takes time to put all the process in place along the railroad and our train station. So it's they started moving the where you cross the tracks, relocating access to that. People used to run up the steps and run across, and not pretty. So there's some safety concerns that are being taken care of at this time, and I'm pleased to see that. It's been more than a few years trying to pull that all together. The safety, the Metro Safety Contest has kicked off, and I'm sharing that with the school superintendents, and hopefully young people will participate in that process. And my work on the, can't believe it, it's been a number of years now, on the DuComm Executive Board. We have hired a new executive director who will be who's starting up on December 5th, and her name is Jessica Robb, and she comes from the police in the city of Chicago, managing one of those major shifts. So I try to put my notes together, keep the clerk happy.
Thank you.
Did catch what I didn't write? Okay, motion to approve by omnibus vote items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
So those are items 8A1 through 8A6.
Correct. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you.
8A7, move to pass ordinance amending the water rate, sewer rate, and service charge.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion to second. Question?
Yes. So I did get a submittal, and I think maybe some of us, others did as well, of a resident who's concerned about the increase in the water rate that's planned. And I know we discussed it at length, and that it is, if we're looking at a 5-year plan right now, but we're going to look at that even further. The question was, why isn't there a sunset clause mentioned? And I was talking to Juliana, and I think she's best to explain that, as well as what these fees will do for maybe the, everyday renter, et cetera. What are those costs, et cetera?
Included in your packet was the PowerPoint and the report from the consultant who gave a lengthy presentation at a previous meeting. It was explained at that time that they showed several diagrams. One of them included on page 77 of your packet that shows that over time with our expenditures that an increase was required in order to allow that to happen and those projects to be completed. We're recommending a 5-year increase with this motion so that we can go out and secure an IEPA loan for the work over the next 5 years, but that does not mean that after that 5 years, we'll have the study updated again. We'll have the consultants look at it again and tweak it, but it is not anticipated. It's anticipated that our costs will continue. There's a lot of infrastructure need in the community, and so looking forward, we see that we will, for the foreseeable future, have infrastructure costs that we will need to incur. In addition to that, we anticipate a 5% increase from the city of Chicago for water. And so this rate increase is 4.5% for the residential user, and so that is that is to help pay for that water. We did receive a request. The cover memo said on average anywhere between $40 and $60 for a residential user over the course of the entire year would be their increase. And we haven't had an increase for 8 years. So we haven't had an increase, but now in order to do the work that's needed, we will need to impose a rate increase at this time.
Okay, we have a question in the audience?
I wanted to just make a comment. Is the rate increase for 5 years, but isn't it an escalating rate over that 5-year period?
Yes, it's 4.5% increase each year.
Each year.
Yes, compound. So,
Net it's gonna be,
yes.
and then in DuPage County, we're raising the water rate itself, so we're gonna have a compounded interest rate. Plus, I think, what is it now, $9.75 a thousand gallons or so? And the next year it's going to $11.
Right. The 4.5% water and sewer rate increase for Cook and DuPage. So the water rate for Cook and DuPage is gonna be the same, 9.75% in 2023.
But he's talking about the infrastructure.
The infrastructure is gonna be based on your meter size. This year, right now, it's just just up $18.50 amount. So
For
now,
everybody.
in next year, it's gonna be based on your meter size. From 3/4 to 5/8 meter size, you're gonna pay like $9 or $20 or something. It's 8% of the
Well, if you're paying
$18.50.
$50 a month on a water bill right now, it's going to be probably break out in 1 year to about a $60
$60 a year.
The next year, it's going to be next 60 plus, and then next 60 plus.
60 plus, I multiply that by 8% or something.
If I may, Mayor.
Please step to the microphone, state your name.
For the record, my name is Richard McAleer. I'm the president of the Tall Oaks Homeowners Association over here at Hanover Park and Greenbrook and County Farm. We got 60 single-family homes, 129 town homeowners, and a budget of around $300,000 a year. I was asked to come here by a number of the residents who are concerned over this water sewer increase. Their net concern, I don't think, is 100% based on the sewer water increase, as much as it's based on the net increase of what's going on in the economy today. Gas is costing 100% more than what it was 2 years ago. Eggs that you were buying for 99 cents are now going, or well, not 90 cents, $1.50 now $3. A head of lettuce for 99 cents is now $3. NICOR has slipped in an increase here in gas rates that people are going to feel the impact on this winter. They haven't seen it quite over the summer months here, but this winter, people are going to get a right to the jaw when they see their bills, as far as I'm concerned. The pundits are talking about the fact that we got a 50-50 chance of sliding into recession. And there's also the feel that if the rail strike comes around, and I hope Congress can avert this, that within the first month there's going to be 600,000 people laid off of work as a residual feedback of the rail strike. Personally, I think this increase by the village is so ill-timed. To me, I can't see it. Residents in Hanover Park and residents in most communities in general are stretched like a rubber band in their finances. Our association, through management, maybe I'm clapping my own hand here, I've been the president for 12 years and we haven't raised our association dues. It was $200 when I took off in January of 11. It's $200 this January of 23. So all I'm trying to express to the board is, why can't we postpone this increase for a year, knowing that we're going into possibly a recession, knowing that we might have a rail strike, knowing that everybody living in Hanover Park is stretched to the end. That's my comment. One last thing, if I may, and I'm a little off the subject here, but I see the village is suggesting to buy 12 vehicles at a cost of about $1.3 million this year. Not a problem. My problem is that of that $1.3 million, one of the items on there is a street cleaner for $275,000. And I would think that $275,000 would be better spent on the force main projects of the various A, B, C special assessment areas. It seems to me like that is put it short, a waste of money, you know. Would you rather have a street cleaner sitting in a garage or have your essential services working, you know? That's the way I see it. So, again, I'm just suggesting to the board that I think this is a very ill-timed increase. That's my input.
Well, thank you for your comments.
Okay, sir.
First
Thank
of
you.
all, this board has debated this for some time. Not raising water rates for 8 years, we certainly have been peeling back the onion, so to speak, on that. But the time has come that when the city of Chicago declared they were raising our costs 5% a year, that's a serious impact. We don't have the reserves to cover that continually. We stretched that out as long as we could, and this was the breaking point.
If the city of Chicago was raising our rate 5% a year, would you mind telling me, like, give me a number? Like, what does that represent in terms of net dollars? Are we talking 25,000 a year or 125,000 a year? Hard to say, I know.
It's a big number. Remy, do we even have that? If you leave your name, if you fill out a form,
Yeah,
you
fill
know.
out that paper right there with your first and last name, and we can get back to you.
All right, guys.
Well, do you know the answer?
We'll have to find.
But I
if you know the
still like
answer,
the
then just-
spelling of your name.
All right, people, thank you.
Thank you for coming this evening. Hanover Park has a history of not raising taxes unless we really need to, and that's fine. If they give the answer, that's fine.
It's gonna take some time, so.
That's okay.
Okay, she will provide the answer. Any other, anything else? Okay. Christie, call the roll.
I'm sorry, you raised another question, that I was trying to write it down, as it related to the water mains and the meters that are on the different homes and how that would impact. I think you were asking what those rates were, and I think it's itemized in the agenda item, what each size meter will
He's talking about.
will relate to in cost, the 3/4 inch meter, I think, or the different size meters, and how that impacts the actual rate that's going out. Was that your question? I was trying to understand what it was that you were trying to get an answer to. Yeah, that's for you.
Richard.
I was trying to find out.
If you speak.
So based on this,
City of Chicago passing on a 5% increase in our water connection rate, I'm assuming? And I was just asking,
Come up to the microphone if you would, please.
I gotta apologize too, guys. I left my hearing aids at home, so go easy on me if you would.
He does all the time.
I'll trade you hearing aids
I
sometime.
think what occurs here is this village, together with some other villages, belong to a organization that jointly purchased water from Lake Michigan.
Correct.
Lake Michigan water. And they purchased that water, this conglomerate of municipalities, from the city of Chicago. And so City of Chicago sells the water to that agency, and then that agency, which the city's village is a member of, purchases the water. So that's the 5% increase. When you were speaking before, I thought you had mentioned something about a DuPage water increase?
Well, DuPage was increasing as well as Cook County, but the mayor I just was asking how much the
No, I-
5% rate was that Cook County were charging us on a yearly
It's
basis.
not Cook County, it's the city of Chicago.
The city of Chicago then, okay.
Because all that city of Chicago water
Uh-huh.
goes to both Cook and DuPage counties. It doesn't just go to Cook.
Right.
And if there's a DuPage water increase
Uh-huh.
from some other agency, that doesn't affect the village of Hanover Park. So the only thing that's affecting the village of Hanover Park is the water that they purchase from the city of Chicago, plus these other expenses that the village would have if they borrow money from the state of Illinois in order to do improvements.
Okay, so in essence, we're buying our water from the city of Chicago.
Correct.
Yes, through this multi-municipal agency.
And
that
what
the
happens in
village is a
DuPage
member of.
County, people read the news of DuPage County,
Oh.
and DuPage has their own water commission. And they talk about increases that are
Right.
different than ours.
Right, we don't buy any water from them.
We're separate.
Yeah, 'cause I remember back in the 70s, they had the joint water, they sold a municipal bond issue, which was the joint water where all the
Jawa,
communities
yes.
got together.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm on that board too.
Oh, okay, good. So the
So,
bond should
I
be
mean,
paid off by now, right?
We really watch, we watch to keep it affordable.
So 300.
We fought with the city of Chicago when Rahm Emanuel became mayor, and he raised us 25% back in 2010 or whatever year that was. And then he raised us 10% the next 4 years. That was murder. And so we fought with them, and we locked in a 5% rate that they haven't gone to until this coming year. So now we have to make up for that.
Are we, though, subject to the city of Chicago arbitrarily raising rates, whatever? What if the city said tomorrow, we're going to raise it 25%?
We have a contract with them, they can't go over 5%.
Okay, so we're locked in for,
We've locked that into 5%.
okay. I mean, for 10 years, 5 years, just out of curiosity?
Ten-
No
for
big
the
deal.
next 10 years.
10 years?
That's all right.
10 years.
10 years? All right, good.
Rick,
I
Thank you,
think
ma'am.
it's,
Rick,
I think it's,
before you leave, I think they're gonna try to get that answer, but do you have it?
I think, go ahead. Just go ahead and ask your other question.
Yeah, so, first of all, thanks for coming. And thanks for raising the issues that you have. We really appreciate it. This type of input from the community is what makes this all work. So, thank you so much for coming and voicing your concerns. You raised the question that I would like someone from our administration to address. As you mentioned, the listing of our vehicle purchases that are in the budget and the 1.1 million, I think that
Two,
is slated,
yeah,
whatever,
ballpark, yeah.
that exact number is. But in particular, you asked the question, which I think deserves a response, is about the street sweeper, which you said that, you know, is that in view of the times of what we're facing and what may be coming, is that something that is a necessary purchase at this time? Is that a priority purchase? I don't have the answer to that, but I think there are people in this room, because I'd like for you to be able to go back to your association if someone has asked you to raise that question, or if you come up with it on your own, and say, I posed this issue, and this is the response that I got back, so that you can satisfy, do your due diligence and satisfy your association members with a response to that. So I don't know if
So let me answer, try to answer both questions. So the increase is about $340,000
Okay.
from Jawa, for that increase.
All right, thank you.
And then the board received a presentation on the various capital infrastructure needs. So that's not included in those additional, the infrastructure improvements over the years would then be an additional on that. That's how they came up with those new rates.
I do, I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, we
And
just looking,
then-
like I said, at this Bayside Force Main project that we're working on, there's a few others. I think the net cost of one of those projects was around $283,000 to $290,000. It was contracted out, I want to say a name, Garzinio Water and Sewer?
Yeah, so those are that is one of the projects. Those are all in the water fund. So that we have different funds that these projects need to be paid for. So that's from the water fund, and it's an enterprise fund, and so that would be paid from the revenue generated from these rates. As
Right.
far as the street sweeper, that's in a different fund, but we've already raised the funds and saved the funds for that sweeper in the vehicle replacement fund. So now that we've saved the money over the course of the life of the previous sweeper, now we have the money in the bank, so to say, to now purchase that sweeper.
And that's good. But what my point is, and I'm saying to you, Mr. Porter, how important is the sweeper at $275,000 when it can literally fund one of the Forest Main projects, which I think is much more important as a community than a street sweeper? End of story. That's what I'm just saying. I mean, I have no objection to a street
Yeah,
sweeper.
I
don't
mean,
get me wrong.
I-
I think the
and
money
we-
could be spent better.
Well, the board, throughout the course of this, since June, has weighed with staff the different priorities. There's a lot of priorities and a lot of expenditures in this budget, and we take the vehicle part of our infrastructure, and we try to spread that out over the years so that you're not purchasing vehicles all at the same time. It's very important from an efficiency perspective that we have vehicles that are in good operating order, and so we determine the life expectancy of that vehicle we save over the time so that we can purchase it, and so that we don't have a lot of breakdowns, et cetera, when using that.
Fair enough. You know,
Thanks.
Let me
Thank
just
you,
say,
appreciate
one
it.
of the benefits of doing that is we get a discount on the purchase.
I'm sorry?
One of the benefits of doing that, but, you know, saving our money,
Uh-huh.
putting it away over 10, 15 years to when the life expectancy is up. When we go out and pay cash for that sweeper, we are saving dollars. You know, we're not borrowing money to purchase that. So that's a real benefit in how we save
Well,
dollars.
in today's
for the
world,
community.
money talks.
I hear
Anyone
you.
wants.
Thank you.
I'm always, if you ever want to invite me to one of your homeowner association meetings, I'm always available.
Thanks, sir.
Christie, if you would call the roll, please.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you, and thank you for coming this evening. 888, motion to waive competitive bidding and approve a contract with Yellowstone Landscape for contractual tree trimming for the amount not to exceed $62,400 and authorize the village manager to execute the necessary document. Requires a 2/3 vote.
And 2/3 of the corporate authorities is 5. And I believe there's 5 of you here.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Mayor Craig?
Yes. 889, motion to pass an ordinance adopting the fiscal year 2023 budget in lieu of passage of an appropriation ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. 8810, move to pass an ordinance authorizing the levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2023, and ending December 31, 2023, in and for the Village of Hanover Park Special Service Area Number 3, Esther Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. 8A11, move to pass an ordinance authorizing the levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2023, and ending December 31, 2023, in and for the Village of Hanover Park Special Service Area Number 4, Hanover Terrace, Mark Thomas.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. 8A12, move to pass an ordinance authorizing the levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2023, and ending December 31, 2023, in and for the Village of Hanover Park Special Service Area Number 5, Greenbrook, Tanglewood.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Did you call Trustee Hurd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 8A13,
Trustee Porter.
Like, didn't I?
The mayor needs
Don't
an,
confuse me.
the mayor needs an adjustment. Okay. 8A13, motion to pass ordinance authorizing the levy and assessment of taxes for the corporate and municipal purposes of the Village of Hanover Park, a home rule municipality, Cook and DuPage Counties, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2023, and ending December 31, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Yes. Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. 8A14, move to pass an ordinance authorizing the Fifth Amendment to the FY 2022 budget of the Village of Hanover Park. A 2/3 vote is required.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Yes. Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Mayor Craig?
Aye.
Yes.
Very good. 8815, move to approve a warrant of 12/1/2022 in the amount of $692,359.79.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any discussions on the warrant? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Yes. Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. 8A16, move to approve warrant paid in advance, 11/05/2022 through 11/18/2022, in the amount of $337,379.01.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the warrant? Hearing none.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Yes. Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Thank you. Village manager's report.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Village clerk's report. Christie.
Yes, so tomorrow is our second annual Downtown Ontarioville tree lighting ceremony from 5:30 to 7:30. So come join us, dress warm, get ready to roast marshmallows and have some fun. So just invite and share and tell your neighbors.
Her reporter is singing, I understand. And I'll be trying to sing.
I might. Who knows? My voice is right now. No.
It's Christmas. Everybody's gonna sing.
I wish you all a merry holiday, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night.
Fun, but I understand it's necessary, and raising water rates is never fun, and we've battled it out for a very long time, and we're still working on how to make water equitable. So I want to thank our residents for understanding. We lead humbly with your suggestions, but also with evidence-based data that is provided as well. So we take this very seriously, but thank you for coming in, and for those that are listening and asking the right questions, that's what we want you to do. I attended a symposium spearheaded by Hanover Township on youth violence prevention. It's about 4 hours long or so, and it was well attended. We had the the DuPage attorney present.
State's attorney?
Yeah, state's attorney present, and lots of great information of what they're doing in DuPage County. As with any other issue we have, including transportation, the fact that we're in so many townships is an issue. And so I applaud Hanover Township for looking at how we can do violence prevention and spearheading it by having the youth lead us that way, their voice in it. And I pray that the same is done by our other townships. One of the biggest issues that they did discuss is the fact that we are in so many townships. And I thank the police social worker also for being there. And so we have areas that, Tanglewood that will belong to Bloomingdale Township, but across the way you belong to Hanover Township. And so, Bloomingdale Township is not as close as Hanover Township. And so as we're trying, and you're on this as well, Mayor, working on how to make that extra 5 miles in. I suggested that when it comes to youth violence prevention programs. You know, if we can do that 5 mile in graciously, that would help. But it was very well attended, and I'm looking forward to continuing work with them and the Coalition for Youth, the Coalition Positive Youth Development with Kenneth Young Center was there as well, and we're working on some programs there because I
Who was
always,
there?
the Kenneth Young Center and the Coalition for Positive Youth Development, and they've done great programs over at Greenbrook and Tanglewood as well. And so we're looking at going beyond just the drop-in center, the Alive Center, which is amazing, because the one thing that we did say is we're lacking mental health services. And so looking at that as number one to look at as well. So hopefully we'll get more out of it. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments and your attendance to that event. Trustee Porter.
Thank you. Once again, thank all of our audience members, our members of the community for coming out tonight and joining us at our meeting. Your presence is duly noted and absolutely appreciated. I had the pleasure and the privilege of attending the National League of Cities Summit along with the mayor a week ago in Kansas City, Missouri. And there were a couple of things that kind of stood out to me that I wanted to kind of make note of and bring back to you for consideration and for your edification and information. One speaker made a comment that really kind of grabbed me in one of the sessions that I was in, and it was, he said that the best indicator of growth for a community, for a municipality, is a high immigrant community. And I thought about that because he was speaking to the fact that when immigrants are seeking out communities to migrate to go to, they're looking for welcoming communities. They're looking for communities with opportunities. They're looking for communities where they will be able to raise a family, grow a business, and have a successful life. And I think, by and large, that has been the goal of Hanover Park and what we strive to do. And so I was encouraged by that, and I just wanted to bring that back as just sort of a mention that we're on the right track with some of the initiatives and the programs that we're undertaking. Another thing that came out, they talked about digital equity and the broadband divide that exists. I know that during COVID and when the schools were shut down and there were children that were attending school at home when they were doing virtual classrooms and doing homework assignments virtually, that I received reports from parents who would drive to the Poplar Creek Library and sit in the parking lot in order to access Wi-Fi services in order for their children to complete their assignments. And broadband expansion is a topic that's been discussed and has been tackled by municipalities around the country. I know that we have some relationships with Comcast and some others, but I would like for us to take a look at our community, talk to our principals, and find out, as my colleague Trustee Gutierrez has mentioned, see if we can gather some data about what that digital divide looks like in Hanover Park and what we might be able to do to help address that. Because one thing is for certain, that if we're going to train and help train our youth for the jobs of the future and to compete in a global economy, they must have high-speed broadband access to the internet in order to do that. And there's so many homes within our community where that doesn't exist. And I think that we have to take some personal interest as a community and as a village as to what we can do to alleviate that digital divide and make sure that every child in every home in our community has access to high-speed broadband internet access. And there are some great programs that I heard about and what some other communities are doing. I've asked for them to send me copies of those presentations, and once they receive them, then I'll share those with other members here to let you know what we can do on that. Yes.
Trustee Porter, so the Harper College Transportation Infrastructure Committee, that's the townships that Mayor has helped us bring together to look at our problems with transportation, how DuPage doesn't cross into Cook and Cook doesn't cross into DuPage. They're equally looking at broadband, and there's great funding for that. So I'd like to invite you to one of those meetings, because I can only tackle one more thing, so I want to pass that on to you. Because while these children do have these hotspots, they're very small hotspots. They're limited for their Chromebook, and they're not high speed by any means.
Yeah.
By any means.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I welcome that opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
The Harper College has been the convener of that initiative, and we went to them with this. And so we've engaged the library districts to work with us on that initiative. So that's continuing to occur. So
Well, there are organizations that have maps, FCC maps, where they can show where the preponderance of broadband is, where the deserts are, and where the gaps are. And they showed a few of those, and they're going to send me those maps, and also the organization that can help us pull that all together. And I welcome whatever information that you're
yeah,
getting
please share that, because
from
the state has set aside a big chunk of money. And so wherever there's money sitting, we want to go after it.
And there were a number of other issues. I won't go through them all because it was a 4-day conference, and I won't try to hit them all. But one other highlight for me was a session called Building Equitable Pathways to STEM Careers Through Youth Apprenticeships. And one thing that I know that we've kind of kicked and tossed around and hinted at through the years is us taking a very robust internship program where we bring in high school seniors, juniors and seniors from our high schools as paid interns to work throughout the village, to give them valuable career experience that will help them as they try to formulate the paths that their lives are going to take. And when we go into our budget process for 2023, I would like to propose to this board that we look at how would we fund a paid internship program. I know that one of the things that comes to mind, I know we use right now the gaming video for our ball fields, but I think we're coming to the end of that program for the ball fields, and I would like to maybe consider shifting that gaming money that we're spending on the ball fields, maybe in using that to fund a internship program for some deserving students throughout our Hanover Park community to give them that valuable work experience as they try to figure things out. But there were some interesting things being done around the country as they're doing paid internships with some very, very positive results, that's happening. So those were some of the highlights of my trip to Kansas City. There were others, but I won't commandeer the rest of the meeting tonight to go through those. Thank the board for allowing me the opportunity to attend and to represent you at this event. I'm also very excited about the tree lighting ceremony tomorrow. I think that I know a lot of hard work has gone into this. Our special events committee has done yeoman's work in putting this together. Our village clerk, who has been at the head of this, has worked extremely hard. Sherry Craig and others have put in a tremendous amount of work. Our Public Works Department and all the administrators that have worked to make this happen. I want to congratulate you in advance for what I know will be a very successful event that we're going to have on tomorrow. So I just want to thank you for that. Hope everyone had a very pleasant and enjoyable Thanksgiving, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Herb. Well stated. executive session.
Wait. Somebody.
Oh. Trustee Kemper.
So, Trustee Porter, your report, I really enjoyed it. I'm especially excited with the youth apprenticeship initiative. It's, I think something that should have been maybe brought into the spectrum a lot sooner than now. Apprenticeship programs are very beneficial, even starting at the high school level. So, last, with the back on the 21st, going back to our water main replacement program, we had a pretty good sized main break at Kingsbury and Bristol Court. And let's just say the residents there, they said they heard a boom. When they went out there, their driveway was, the public walk, the apron, and part of the driveway was lifted up, broken up, and rubble. So they called me, is the village gonna replace my driveway? I was like, I'm pretty sure they are, and I believe they are. I've got video of it, if y'all would like to see it. It's I've seen a lot of water main breaks. This one was a pretty good one. So it was very, very interesting to see the video of it. So, but if you want to see it, I'll show it to you at the end of the meeting. So with that, I look forward to our Christmas tree lighting event tomorrow. I will do the best I can to bring better weather.
Beautiful.
Seeing that meteorology is part of my history. I'll do a special to the rain gods, right? So it doesn't rain. And lessen the winds. Looking very much to that. With that, until our next board meeting.
Well, thank you. Very good. We have a pop-up need for an executive session. Under what article? Ernie?
So it would be under 2C6, which is the setting of a price for the sale or lease of property owned by the village.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Christie, call the roll. Will we be returning afterwards? No, we will not be returning.
Trustee Brigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Time
Very
is
good. We have
8:00.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Madam Clerk,
And
call
we're
the
not returning.
Correct. Trustee Brigi? Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you. See you in executive session.